Picture this, it's a Tuesday morning, your manager walks in, the same one who remembered your daughter's dance recital last week, the same one who laughed at your joke in the meeting, the same one who once told you, "You're one of the good ones." He closes the door, he sits down, and for 1 second you think this is just another check-in, but then you notice something small. He won't look at you, not really. He opens a piece of paper and you can tell immediately that those are not his words. The phrasing is too polished, too legal, too bloodless, and then he starts reading. Due to a strategic restructuring initiative, your role has been eliminated effective immediately, word for word, like a man reading someone else's apology. That moment destroys people, not just because they lost the job, but because the brain immediately starts searching for an explanation. Wait, I thought we had a good relationship. I thought he respected me. I thought she cared about me. I thought we were close. And that is exactly where the pain comes from, not from the layoff itself, from the collapse of a story you were unconsciously telling yourself. So let me say something clearly right at the top. You are not stupid for feeling betrayed. You were just operating with the wrong map. Because in corporate life, warmth and protection are not the same thing. Familiarity and loyalty are not the same thing. Being liked and being safe are definitely not the same thing. The smile was real, the small talk was real, the memory of your kid's name was real. But none of those things were a professional signal. They were human gestures inside a system that runs on incentives. And today I want to explain the game most people learn far too late. Your manager is not your friend, and structurally they never could be. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. This is not mainly about personality. It's not about whether your manager is kind, funny, decent, caring, or emotionally intelligent. This is about role design, because the role of a friend and the role of a manager point in opposite directions. A real friend advocates for your interests even when it costs them something. A real friend tells you the truth. A real friend protects you when you are not in the room. A real friend wants you to get what you are worth. A manager, on the other hand, operates inside a machine with different incentives. Their job is to hit targets, control costs, maintain output, reduce disruption, keep the team functioning with as little drama, attrition, and budget escalation as possible. That does not make them evil. It makes them structurally compromised. And that word matters, structurally. Because people waste years trying to decode this at the level of emotion. She seemed genuine. He really cared. We had a bond. Maybe you did, but the structure still wins. If a budget cut comes down, the structure wins. If HR draws a line, the structure wins. If leadership decides the headcount no longer makes financial sense, the structure wins. Your manager can feel terrible about it, they can hate the conversation, they can lose sleep, and they can still do absolutely nothing to save you. That is the part employees struggle to accept, because we assume closeness creates leverage. In normal life, sometimes it does. In corporate life, not necessarily. Here's the line I want you to remember. Every act of warmth is real as a human gesture and irrelevant as a professional signal. That birthday message, human gesture. That coffee chat, human gesture. That I've got your back, maybe emotionally sincere. But professional signal, only if it changes pay, title, exposure, protection, or decision-making when it counts. If it doesn't change one of those things, then it may feel good, but it does not alter your position. And the faster you separate emotional warmth from career leverage, the less damage the workplace can do to your self-respect. Now let's go one layer deeper. Why does this blurred relationship happen so often? Because it is efficient. If a company can't give you more money, can't promote you yet, and quietly needs more output from you than your job description actually covers, there are only a few ways to keep you engaged. One is to pay you properly. That costs money. One is to promote you. That changes structure. One is to reduce your workload. That hurts output. And one is to make you feel emotionally valued while materially nothing changes. That option is by far the cheapest. So what do organizations naturally drift toward? Warmth, recognition language, informal closeness, pseudo-family energy. We really appreciate you. We'd be lost without you. You're such a key part of this team. Now, some of that is sincere, but sincerity does not cancel function. The function is retention. Because a person who feels emotionally seen will often tolerate things they would reject if the relationship felt purely transactional. They'll absorb extra work. They'll stay late. They'll delay the salary conversation. They'll forgive vague answers. They'll interpret neglect as temporary instead of structural. Why? Because friendship creates hope, and hope is cheaper than compensation. That is what makes this so dangerous, not because your manager is consciously manipulating you like some cartoon villain. Most of the time, they aren't. It's worse than that. The system teaches both of you to participate in a relationship that feels personal but behaves transactionally the second the numbers tighten. Now let's talk about the people this dynamic hurts most. Not the loud underperformers, not the obvious problem employees. It hurts the dependable ones, the emotionally mature ones, the competent ones, the ones who make work easier. If that's you, this part matters. You think being easy to manage is building goodwill. It isn't, it's building convenience. And convenience is one of the most exploited assets in corporate life. Every time you quietly absorb extra work, you are making the system more dependent on your silence. Every time you fix a mess without documenting it, you are teaching people that your effort is free. Every time you say yes because you don't want to make life hard for your manager, you are paying what I call the convenience tax. The convenience tax is the penalty high-functioning people pay for being low friction. You become the person who can be leaned on without resistance, the safe pair of hands, the stable one, the reliable one. And because you are reliable, your manager does not have to spend political capital solving your situation. They spend political capital where the noise is. On the difficult employee, the squeaky wheel, the unstable performer, the person threatening to leave, the person creating risk. Meanwhile, you get praised, and people mistake praise for investment. Those are not the same thing. Praise is cheap. Investment costs something. If your manager keeps telling you how valuable you are, but your title, pay, visibility, and protection remain the same, then your value is being harvested, not advanced. This is the part that really stings. Sometimes the employee who is most appreciated is the least likely to be promoted. Why? Because your competence solves your manager's daily problems. You are responsive. You know the systems. You calm clients down. You fix mistakes before they become disasters. You carry context in your head that nobody wrote down. From your point of view, that should make you the obvious promotion candidate. From your manager's point of view, promoting you creates a new problem. Now they have to replace the person who made their life easier. Now they need to backfill knowledge, train someone new, risk lower output, deal with transition, possibly lose the one person they trust not to drop the ball. So when they say things like, "You're so critical to the team, I don't know what I'd do without you. We really need you where you are right now," hear the hidden message. The hidden message is not your future is expanding. The hidden message is your current utility is too high for me to disrupt. This is the competence trap. And the friendship element makes it worse because you interpret emotional closeness as evidence that they'll eventually do right by you. But many employees spend years inside that sentence, eventually after this quarter, eventually after the reorg, eventually after budgets open, eventually after leadership settles, eventually after the next cycle, and suddenly it's 3 years later. Your manager still loves you, still praises you, still says you're invaluable, and you are still in the same box. That is not friendship, that is dependency with good manners. So what do you do with this? Do you become cold, paranoid, hostile, perform some edgy anti-corporate personality in the office kitchen? No, that would be immature and self-destructive. The answer is much more disciplined than that. Professional warmth, strategic distance. First, document value visibly. Stop relying on private praise. Private praise dies in private rooms. Create written evidence of outcomes, follow-up notes, project summaries, client wins, problem solved, revenue protected, time saved, risks avoided. You are not bragging. You are building memory in a place the system can read later. Second, build visibility beyond your manager. If one person controls your narrative, one person can shrink it. Cross-functional work matters, exposure matters, relationships above and adjacent matter. You do not need to go around your manager in a political sloppy way. You need a professional footprint that exists independently of them. Third, have clean transactional conversations, not emotional ones. Not "I've been so loyal," not "I thought we were close." No, use output language. Based on what I delivered this quarter, I want to discuss scope, title, and compensation alignment. That sentence does something powerful. It drags the relationship out of the soft fog of friendliness and into the adult world of value exchange. And if the answer is warm, vague, flattering, and non-committal, perfect. Now you have data. That is not a betrayal story anymore. That is a market signal. And once you have the signal, you can act accordingly. So here's the hard truth. Your manager is not your enemy, but they are also not your friend in the way your nervous system wants them to be. They are a person inside a structure that rewards them for keeping you productive, engaged, and affordable. Sometimes they will genuinely like you. Sometimes they will care about you. Sometimes they will even feel guilty when the system hurts you. But guilt is not protection, warmth is not leverage, and closeness is not strategy. The moment your career gets better is the moment you stop outsourcing your professional security to somebody whose incentives do not fully belong to you. That's when the hidden scoreboard becomes visible. And once you can see the scoreboard, you stop taking the game personally. You start playing it clearly. So tell me in the comments, when did you realize your manager wasn't actually on your side? Was it during a layoff, a raise conversation, a promotion that mysteriously never came? Or was it smaller than that, a moment where the smile stayed warm, but the decision told you everything? Put it below. I'll see you in the next one.